Good morning. Welcome to Morning Qi Gong. This is the Sunday deep dive. Excuse me. With the Levy Tai Chi School and myself, Lao Shi Paul Nettles. It is Sunday the 11th. I think that's right. And it's a beautiful morning. I hope you have regained power and internet if you're in Louisiana, and that you had minimal issues with Delta. We can only hope. This is Sunday, the deep dive. Today we're going to get into a very physical posture, lion wags tail. I was thinking as we did this setup, I did the setup for this video. There are, like any translation into or out of Chinese, a lot of variations on the name. You'll see it called all kinds of things. I was taught lion wags tail. I've often seen it as lion shakes head and wags tail. I've never been a big fan of that. I think the word shakes did not translate properly from Chinese. We don't really shake our head. Of course, in the same way, we don't really wag our tail. But I've also seen the longest variation I've seen on that title is shake head and wag tail like lion to calm the heart. So I've always gone with lion wags tail because it somewhat involves what we're doing. Perhaps more accurately, it might be lion wags head, but we're not going to get into entomology and translations this morning. Lion wags tail is one of the most physical, if not the most physical, of the postures. It involves the spine. It involves balance a great deal. It's a good balance trainer. It's a good leg strengthener if you sit down low in the stance. And there are two variations that I'm aware of. This is one of the few that I have not seen a large number of variations. My understanding is there are two main variations. One with hands behind the back, which is more of a Western style, makes the posture more of a workout. And the more Eastern style, which is the one you always see in the manuals, is with hands on hips. Let's do the posture one time or two for you to see what's going on, and we'll kind of break it down for you. So if you recall from your previous training, of course, we're going out to horse stance. So we'll sink, step, shift, step, and center. And give us a nice wide stance. Now, as always, like anything in the form, if you want this to be more physical, of course, you do it down low, wherever you're comfortable at. Now, the two variations are mainly with the hands. This is the Eastern style, hands on hips on the front of the legs, which gives you, of course, a lot of support when you roll forward. You can rest a lot of this mass on your hands, which of course puts the weight on your thighs, and the workout then becomes mainly the thighs. Western style, of course, has the hands behind the back, which I prefer in some ways because it's a much better balance trainer. When you roll forward, your center of mass drifts forward about a foot or so out of the line of your feet. So your body really has to work at its proprioception to keep you balanced, to keep you upright. So I like that aspect of it a great deal. It is a little harder on the back. If you have back problems, you'll notice it very fast in this posture. But it's also better for the core. You're going to at least slightly have to tighten your core up to hold yourself vertically, especially when you drift down slowly. That takes some effort, both in the back and the abdomen. So I think that's a good workout physically. Like everything, again, you don't need to do one or the other. It's entirely your option. For the sake of example, let's do both of them. We'll start with the Western style. Of course, the foot you're turning to turns out first. We breathe in, rotate the torso, and lift very slowly to vertical. And then breathe out. Notice my weight is fully on my right foot at this point. Feet change places. We breathe in and out. The east to west difference, of course. Hands resting on the crease of the thighs, right in the hips. The movement is the same. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Now, I always stress in this posture that the foot turn has to happen every time. That is going to protect your knees, which are vitally important, and I'm very big on protecting knees because I have bad knees. So when you move into that stance, before you do anything, if you're starting to your right or your left, whichever one it is, make sure that foot is turned out. It's only about 22.5 degrees if you get down to it. 45 is far too far. You couldn't probably get that far comfortably. Leaving it straight puts a huge strain this way on your knee. Your knee's not designed to bend that way, of course, so be sure and turn that foot so when you sink, like when we do draw bow, the knee is bending this way. It's coming to the front a little bit. It's not coming directly out. You're coming forward with your weight as you swing around. Now, that's an important part of it too. Make sure as you shift that your weight is fully engaged on that right leg. Notice how far out I am. And like draw bow, shoot tiger, I've got a little bit of a pull on this inside tendon on my left leg. But engage the weight fully to your right. And as always, make sure your knee does not pass the plane of your toes. Sorry, I have kittens in my office and they're tearing up my plants. Make sure your knee does not pass the front of your toes. If you can get that far, widen your stance some more. You're not wide enough. So when you come forward, watch that position very carefully until you're accustomed to how it feels. The other important thing, especially to protect your back, is as you come up, all you have to do is come vertical, right there. No more than that. I have noticed a lot of folks I teach, especially when they're brand new, have this desire to hyperextend, to roll as far backward as they can. And I'm not sure why that happens. I'm not sure if that, I don't know where that's coming from. The point being, you're gonna hurt yourself. It's not necessary. It's not really helping anything. So when you roll up, vertical is the key. Weight fully engaged to one side or the other as you twist, and then vertical. Notice my weight's still on my right now. And as I come down, Weight shifts slowly side to side. Usually when I'm centered, my best practice, when I'm centered, I change my feet. That's the easiest time to do so. My weight is equally balanced. And then roll up. Again, watch that knee over your toes. Roll up carefully. Twisting as far as you can comfortably. Weight's fully on my left now. And breathe out. And shift back. Now, notice this. As you go through the swing, back and forth, make sure your head and your torso are hanging freely. That's important. We bend at the waist, the body rolls forward, and we're not trying to look up. That just put quite a little strain in my lower back when I did that. Now my back's been a little sore for a couple days, so it's probably exacerbated, but that became very apparent when I started twisting up. I got a twinge back here in my lower back. So let all of this, everything from your waist to the top of your head, hang forward, relaxed. Now you do need to hold some core tension as you roll forward. You don't want to just fall forward, obviously. You're going to lower yourself very carefully, but let yourself be relaxed from waist up. Very, very comfortable. It helps the spine be more limber, helps you move a little easier, and it prevents injury. Now it's tough when you first start because you want to watch the instructor and make sure you're doing it right, make sure everyone else is doing it right. Get used to it quickly so you're not trying to keep arching that head back up again. You're going to hurt yourself. We do not want to hurt ourselves in this form. This form is not about hurting yourself ever. Pain is not an option for us. Okay? As far as the depth, that is entirely up to you. I tend to work a little low because I like to strengthen my legs as I use this posture. You don't have to, but like a lot of the Chinese exercise and medicine systems, when you can get low, you get more of the action of the movement that you want. When you're up high, you don't have quite as much twist and shift to engage in. Now, again, you don't have to get a great big pendulum swing. As I have said many times before, Qi Gong is about the mind primarily. The body is entirely a secondary aspect of this form. So the physical part, that's a side effect. That's a bonus, that's lagniappe. I tend to prefer that physicality in my exercising, in my meditation, in my meditative movements. So I run deeper. And I like the extra movement that affords me side to side as I go through the form. Whatever you find comfortable, and I would strongly suggest as you get used to it, that you work up to a little deeper posture. Work up to it slowly, increase your depth very, very slowly, incrementally, and see what you like, and see if you enjoy the strengthening. If you don't want to, then you don't have to. No one's going to make you do it any way you don't want to, as long as you're careful with the specifics of the posture. What else have we covered? Oh, one of the things, sorry, I didn't turn off my do not disturb. Sorry about that. One of the things I try to be very careful about mentioning, especially to beginners when we work this posture, is the completion of the posture. So when you have done 8 cycles, so 1, 1, 2, 2, so on and so forth, When you end your breathing out, you come to your center. Unroll your back first. There's not a lot of danger in straightening all at once. I don't believe it's going to hurt you necessarily. You did notice that I moved a little faster that time. I think that's more of a natural movement for us to do. Whether it's healthy or not, we move fast that way, we tend to straighten up. But what I have found is that making yourself, in essence, undo the steps of the posture that got you there lends a more orderly closure to the posture, to the form. And again, gives you a little opportunity for mindfulness. It lets you think about, okay, breathe out, we stop, we rest just a heartbeat, we rise up slowly, we're still well balanced, and then we step back out into our center stance. It gives you a sense of pace, a sense of calmly leaving this very physical thing. I think that's important. I think that's a good aspect of this. We go through the entire posture, or the entire form, playing it, trying to be mindful, trying to be careful, trying to be aware of what we're doing, trying to hold our focus, especially at first, in our body. What are we doing with our body? Is it moving right? Am I following the postures? Am I slow? Am I breathing correctly? And then as we get more of a muscle memory going, where we can simply go through the postures, then we focus on our breathing. We focus on anything we focus on inside to hold our focus in one place as the body goes through the motions as it knows to. But that careful focus at first is a great teacher. It teaches us how to focus on moving slowly, moving sequentially, going from horse stance to center, rising up just with the back slowly, and then closing out. It gives us an order we follow. And that ritual becomes very important to us because that becomes our muscle memory. That becomes how we do the form when we're not thinking about it. When we don't need to think about it anymore. And we worry about focusing in here, focusing in here, focusing on whatever we're doing. And the body is still automatically following that nice, calm sequence of events. So, as a quick review, and to make sure I didn't skip anything, I'm trying to think of all the things I want to mention to you guys about Lion Wags Tail. It is very physical. It does not need to be as physical as it seems. It does not need to be as physical as I make it. The posture is done the way I enjoy it, which is more physical. You don't need to. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. I do suggest, I recommend, just as a recommendation, that you push a little bit, just a little bit every time. Give yourself a little physical out of it. Make you feel better, make you stronger. It works proprioception, it works your balance very, very much. Be absolutely certain every time that your feet are turning out as you go from side to side through the posture. Of course, there's always a nice, slow, even pace. You don't want to get in a rush. You don't want to hurry through it. That is the gateway to injury, especially with how much back twisting we're doing in this one, as well as your knees. While we're on the knees, make sure the front of your kneecap does not pass the tip of your toes as you're in posture. If you are, get your horse stance wider. Don't let your knee get out past your toes. You're gonna risk serious injury to your knees, and trust me, knee surgery is not any fun at all. None of it. As you go through the postures, again, make sure that your waist becomes the hinge of the body, and that everything from your dantian, from your waist all the way up, is rolled forward gently. You come forward slowly, under control, and then everything is a big, soft curve. You're not trying to hold yourself up, not trying to pull your head up, Not trying to roll your shoulders up, let everything simply hang forward. Again, you have the option, the Western style, hands behind back, or the Eastern style, which is easier on the spine, hands resting right in that crook where your thighs meet your torso. Palms get down flat, especially when you get down into the posture. Your palms naturally kind of fall to your thighs, and you can hold yourself up some. It's a little easier. And as you come up, of course, the curve, your hands lighten a great deal. Just make sure they remain in contact. Don't let them fly off. Just keep them in contact gently. And as you come back down again, of course, the weight of your torso will push your hands back into your thighs, help support the torso, and you roll through again. Let's see, I mentioned the foot turn. I keep returning to the foot turn. That is vitally important to me, to protect that knee. That is super important. Make sure that knee is safe. So kneecap does not pass into the toes. Breathing, of course, is as normal. In as you rise up, out as you roll down, and then back in as you come up and out. Like owl gazes backwards, as you twist, you're going to get a little more torsion on your rib cage. Your rib cage is going to kind of flatten out a little bit. It's going to compress some as your body twists a little bit. Not as bad as lion gazes backward or owl gazes backwards, because you're twisting your hips as well, but you're limited by your stance. You're not going to be able to twist fully around, and you don't want to necessarily. This is a gentle twist, so you won't find that same compression, but you'll find some. So again, don't hold your breath. As you come around and you come up, the lungs should just fill. And once you're full, start down again. Back down through it. So don't come up and hold, and then down and up and hold. Make sure you're flowing in and out all the way through that arc with your movement and your breathing. Of course, time your breathing to your movement so your breath is full as you rise up, as you hit that dead center part where we begin to change our feet. The lungs should be completely empty. I think that's the important things. Now, as always, in about an hour or so, I'll think about something else I should have mentioned. But what I have found, and the good news to me, what I have found about these postures in this form, is that as you practice, as your practice deepens in terms of thoughtfulness, and in terms of focus, and in terms of simply doing the postures over and over and over again, what I have found is that a lot of these things I've been telling you all through these deep dive classes become apparent to everybody. There's not some secret that I'm revealing to you that is passed down through the ancient masters. No, a lot of this is simply stuff I've gathered from doing the form and being aware of what's going on in my body. Just having a simple awareness, not even a complex awareness, a very simple awareness of what's happening with me. So as I go through, I start realizing, well, yeah, my knee's starting to hurt. Foot knee, okay. Well, this is better, but this is different. A lot of these tricks and tips come naturally, and usually there are so many of them. By the time you practice, you've probably forgotten half of them, which is fine. They'll come back to you. They'll come back to you in your practice. They'll come back to you in your own thought processes as you work through the form and you start realizing certain things feel better, certain things feel worse for you. You'll change the form to your own. These things come to you as you practice, like so much, like the rewards of the form. I tell all my Tai Chi students, especially, as I teach them, Tai Chi is so complex. I give you the skeleton. I give you the framework of the form. What I teach you is the movements, the base movements, and the postures. What you do then is clothe it in your musculature, in your ligaments, your connective tissue, in your ability. Everyone's Tai Chi form that I have taught is different from everyone else's. It's the exact same postures, the exact same movements, the exact same system. The 37 postures, about 72, 73 movements, depending on how you count it. But everyone's built differently. Everyone is rigged differently physically in terms of connective tissue, in terms of joint health, in terms of cartilage, in terms of bones and muscles and strength and flexibility. So every posture looks different from person to person to person, and Qi Gong is no exception. Your lion wags tail will look like mine for the most part, but you will perform it the way you perform it, the way your body allows you to, the way your strength allows you to, the way your desires allow you to. You're going to move the form as you want to, as you need to. Pay attention to that. Adjust accordingly for yourself. Don't let me or anybody else be your milepost or your goal point. This is about you. All this form is about you, not about me, not about attaining something I can attain, not about moving exactly how I move. I want you to move very, very similar. I want you to move through the postures in the right order. I want you to do the right things to keep safe. I want you to do the things to help your body. But I want you to use the heights and strengths and stretching and everything that is yours solely. That's important in this one, especially because it's so physical. So, as you go through the form, make it yours. You have no choice, really. You're going to. But don't try to imitate somebody else. Don't try to imitate me or anybody else. Especially don't look at the professionals on the videos that you find on YouTube. People who've been doing this since they were 3 years old, and they're, Olympic level athletes, and they have these amazing abilities that make me look like a beginner, which I really am in a way. But don't let that be your goal. There is a beautiful Qigong, a much more advanced Qigong, called the Qigong of the five philosophers, or the five animal philosophers, again, depending on translations. And it is extraordinarily physical, and it is very athletic, and it is very exceptional. And the video I found that has helped teach me the best and has engaged me the most is by a professional who I've seen do quite a few Qigong videos. And he is a slender bundle of willow reeds. He is so flexible and so profoundly strong. And I've got to keep reminding myself that I'm not him. I can do what I can do. And that's what I will do as I go through the form. I'm going to do it to my strength, to my ability, to my flexibility. Mosquitoes are coming up, sorry. I'm not going to push myself to that level until I can get there. And I'm not using him as a guidepost. I'm not using him as a milestone or as a goal. That's his form. That's his ability. I'm going to use mine and make the best of mine and do what I can do and be proud in that. As well you should be. You should be proud in what you can do. And be proud in your achievements. And be proud as you get better with it. That's a big thing. Be proud of that. You've worked for it. You keep working for it. Be proud of the mental strides you make as you move forward. That's an important thing too. Don't keep striving for some imagined goal. There's no goal in Qigong. There's no goal in Tai Chi. It's the joy of doing. It's the joy of the journey. You've heard that before, I'm certain. Okay, mosquitoes are getting real bad. I'm gonna have to wrap up. They're on my neck and on my everything. So, thank you for joining me this beautiful Sunday morning for the deep dive into Lion Wags Tail, or Shake Head and Wag Tail like Lion to Calm the Heart, or whatever you want to call it. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found something useful in that. I hope you continue to practice every day with me or without me, however you find comfortable and whatever you find joy in. But keep practicing. Whether it's Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, whatever you do, keep practicing. Keep at it. Don't let repetition bore you. You are building such skills day to day that you really won't see day to day. You'll see it months and months at a time. You'll see it in big jumps and big gaps. You'll notice it. Oh my God, I've gotten better. I've gotten stronger. I've gotten more flexible. I've gotten all these wonderful things. I can think clear. My focus is better. You won't notice it day to day. You won't see the forest for the trees. But when you step back after a series of months, then you'll start seeing it. That's when the rewards are coming. All right, tomorrow's Monday morning. All things considered, I hope to be out in the yard again if it's dry enough. If not, we'll be right here again, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time for one more class, one more go through. We'll keep on moving forward together. I hope you have a lovely day. I hope you enjoy yourself. I hope you have power back if you've lost it during the storm. I hope everything normalizes again soon and we get through this and well into spooky season and into Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's without too many more problems. As problems arise, view them as opportunities. Embrace it, move forward. Nothing's permanent. Everything changes. Except my opening and closing, I do sincerely hope that you remain safe and that you stay well.